Mushrooms and Dragons, Season 3, Episode 3, Giant Body Parts. In the last few episodes, we've shown you giants from Hawaii. We've shown you giants up in the Badlands. We've shown you giants up in New England. And where were all these giants? They were in the landscape. So now we're going to start showing you body parts to the giants. And where are they? They're in the landscape. They're all the stones and the rocks and the whatever else you find in the landscape. Stonehenge is a popular prehistoric megalithic structure in England. It consists of a bunch of large stones. And I'm claiming that these are all body parts. These are fossils to a giant. Let me explain further. Outside the circle of stones is another stone all by itself. It is called the heel stone. The heel stone is a single large block outside the entrance of Stonehenge. At first, it was accompanied by a second stone, which is no longer visible. It's not there. The stone is gone. But there was two of them. It's a foot, and the giant had 2 feet. It's the heel is sticking down, and the toes are sticking up. That's a left foot because the big toe is inside on the right, and the little toe is outside on the left. And you see the holes by the toes where the arteries would have popped out when this thing got petrified into stone. This is a good shot. You can see the toes. You know, the whole bone, like each striation of the toes, you can see them very, very clearly. So this giant had 2 feet. He's laying down. They used the rest of him to build that circle monument. And his 2 feet are like the entranceway into the monument. But they stole one of the feet or broke it. I'm not really sure what happened to the second foot, but it's gone. The Temple of Hercules is a citadel in Amman, Jordan. And at the citadel is the hand of Hercules. Here's a good close-up view of the hand of Hercules. Here's another view of the hand. And on the trigger finger, you could see how it's peeling off. That would be the membrane layer, the fascia layer, the outermost layer of the skin peeling off. And at the bottom of the fingernail, you see it's turning reddish orange because all the blood gathered at the bottom of the finger right there. You could tell the rock on the left is a giant brain. That's in South America. Let's move on to the next gigantic body part. Devil's Tower is a gigantic rock mountain in Wyoming. Before we tell you which body part Devil's Tower is, take a guess. What do you think it is? The Achilles tendon is a tendon on the back lower leg. It is the thickest and strongest tendon in the human body. And there is a picture of it. This is a good illustration. It shows all the striations that make up the Achilles tendon. As you can see, the tendon is not a single structure, but made up of many little fibers. And then those fibers break down into smaller fibers, and then again into smaller fibers. And each time they break down into smaller fibers, they become more prone to injury. This image shows where the tendon usually breaks off. It's usually not at the bottom because the bottom tendons are thick and strong. But as they move up, they break down into smaller and smaller fibers. And that's where they get weak and they break right about here. Right there. When you look at Devil's Tower, you are looking at this little tip of a tendon. You're not looking at a whole foot. You're only looking at a little part of a tendon, the Achilles tendon, the bottom piece. It broke off right there, the top of it. It would have been, I don't know how tall the giant would have been, but it would have been a very, very tall giant. The information in this video has come from my teacher at Mud Fossil University.